Hi, I've had a couple of requests from people asking whether I could do a hijab style for the summer. Something that would be suitable for places where the weather's hot and humid. I presume it would be a style that wouldn't require too many scarves or too much wrapping around, because that's just going to make the person feel hotter. So the only thing that I could draw reference upon was what I did when I went on holiday a couple of weeks after I started adorning the hijab. I went on holiday to India and it was extremely hot there. It was around April time and the heat was just unbearable for me, and it was a challenge enough keeping the scarf on, to be honest. So this is what I did when I was there. I'm going to use a very lightweight scarf, obviously, because we're going to imagine that the weather is really, really hot, even though it's freezing outside over here. And anywho, so it's a very lightweight scarf, and it's got a fairly loose weave, but not loose enough that you can see the hair through, because then obviously that wouldn't be hijab. In the words of Baba Ali, that's not hijab. So this is the one I actually used when I went on holiday, and when I did put it on over my hair, you couldn't see the hair through. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to wear this bone hair. In order to ensure that the scarf stays in place, you can do one of two things. If the scarf is a very loosely woven scarf, like this one, I actually used to put in black slides through the scarf itself onto my hair to hold it in place. The other thing that you can do is to take a fairly large safety pin, make sure you've made a bun with your hair or a ponytail with, you know, the hair kind of folded in a bit, if that sort of makes sense. And what you can do is actually take the safety pin and pin through the scarf, through the bun, and then fasten it that way. So it's up to you. So the way I've worn the scarf is pretty much down the middle. So both sides that are hanging down should be approximately equal. Then what I'm going to do next is to follow the scarf down, and depending on whether or not you're wearing a polo neck, well, I suppose if this is for the summer, then you probably won't be wearing a polo neck underneath. In order to ensure that you're covering enough of your neck, just measure accordingly for yourself. I'm wearing a polo neck, so I can leave this bit quite low. Follow the scarf down with your thumb, turn your thumb inwards, and then pin down from the inside, this section here. Okay, so here's the safety pin that I put on inside, and it's concealed because obviously I put it from the inside. Right, next what I'm going to do is something very simple. I take one side and I'm going to pleat it. How can I show this? Right. Back and forth, back and forth, like that. Right. Make sure that all the pleats are in line with each other. Like that. Cross this over and a pin down. Okay, next, with the other part you can do one of two things. Now again, assuming it's going to be hot outside, you probably won't be wearing a polo neck. You may even be wearing something with a fairly low neck. So in order to cover that neck, you can do one of the two styles that I'm about to show you with this part. You can either hold it from the top and bring it round, covering the first part that you had pinned down to make that section a bit neater. And pin down. Okay, with those two bits pinned down, you can see with this first style you'll be covered appropriately from the front. If you don't need that kind of covering from the front, you can do something else with this bit here. Let me just take it off and show you. So with this bit that's now hanging loose, what we're going to do is take it back, place it over where we'd pinned the previous side. Pin it over the messy bit. Again, because I was on holiday and I didn't want this bit sort of flapping around while we were travelling, etc., to neaten it up and ensure that it stayed out of the way, what you can do is twist it. Now, as I twist, I can push it up like that, so it doesn't lie too flat on the side. Okay, you see? Compared to that, I like a bit of volume. And so what you'd do is you'd pin over here from the inside with a safety pin. Okay, pinned. Now this bit that was already twisted, I'm going to bring it round and conceal it. Pin again. I'm sure I said in one of my videos I use up 1,000,000 pins, and today is no exception. This is such a lovely way to style the scarf when you are in need of a style that's loose and it's not going to make you feel claustrophobic, because you've got space here for ventilation. There isn't too much wrapping around. As you can see, it would be a very, very thin layer on your head, so you have that opportunity for heat loss of your head and you're not going to feel overheated. I would recommend that you do this with a light coloured scarf or a white scarf, because obviously you want to reflect the sunlight, not absorb the radiation. That's going to make you feel hotter. Let me do a 360 for you. Hopefully those of you hijabis out there who are looking for styles that are easy and quick to do. Hasn't been very quick for me today because I keep having to look over there at the mirror whilst I'm doing this and showing you at the same time. But essentially it is supposed to be a quick style. I hope that helps, and that's it for me. I'm going to be off. Toodles.